Welcome to another Omega FPL episode. I'm Chester. By now, you must know this. And I'm with my co host, Andre.
Good evening, everybody. How are you doing? As you can see, I'm outside tonight. Unfortunately, we have something called load shedding here in South Africa. So I had to make another plan, and here we are. We outside. How about that?
We're outside. So, obviously, this was a lovely game week again. FPL is back, Premier League is back, all things Premier League happening. Let's just do a quick recap when it comes to the results that happened this weekend. So, we started off on Friday evening with Chelsea battering West Ham. West Ham 1, Chelsea 5. And when I watched that game, I just wanted to point out João Pedro. João Pedro, when he was bought in the transfer market, I didn't actually think he would be so effective at Chelsea. I didn't consider him to be an effective player himself, even at Brighton. But I guess I was wrong because he banged in a 15-pointer, 2 assists, 1 goal. And yeah, Palmer getting injured in the warm-up, that means that João Pedro had more freedom. He played as the 10 as well. I actually liked the Brazilian kid as well, Tavo or something like that. Estavio, yeah. I liked
Estavio.
him. Quality game from him as well. And Chelsea look very matured, man, But in FPL terms, Palmer is injury concern. A player that costs 10.5, do you let him out of your team? Do you wait for assessments? He might be back in game week 4. He might be back in game week 5. Who knows? But yeah, what's your feel on that one?
So with regards to that match, I must say the João Pedro one, I was in the middle. I was on the fence, so I never had anything really to say about him. But I think he really showed his class. He came through. What I'm surprised about is the fact that they actually performed a lot better without Palmer as opposed to with him. So maybe without him, obviously João Pedro has the freedom to play his type of football as well as all the other players there. And then ultimately, that's what a team should be like. They shouldn't rely on one player. And for him, someone that they rely on like that to come in at 10.5, whereby we have players for less value to give more returns, and it's about like game week 3 now. I doubt he's gonna play this game week coming. So I really wouldn't put my money on him. However, with the João Pedro and the Pedro Neto purchases, I really think those are ones to watch. The Pedro one, I feel like he's still one of those that we need to watch him a little bit more, just for the reason that that could have just been one of those games whereby he flourishes. Let's see what he does the next game. And I wouldn't be too hasty. Just bring him into your team at this point.
Okay, so when you say they did better without him, do you think they did better without Palmer, or do you think that they played against West Ham? West Ham is in turmoil. They got knocked out of the Carling Cup, or what's it called now? The Carabao Cup now. They got knocked out by Wolves, I think, day before yesterday.
Yeah.
So West Ham is just proving to us that they a walkover at this point. I mean, what's his name? Jared Bowen was even confronting a fan over there. Yes, obviously, a fan is going to give you stick as a player.
Yeah.
But I mean, West Ham at the moment, they're playing without any pride. And this is what I said on episode 1. West Ham is just, they're the team to target at the moment. Exactly.
In terms of structure and getting something off the table, they aren't doing anything. They aren't doing anything at all. Could it be just the team morale? Could it come from a point whereby the team is just upset with the coach? Because let's be honest, that's where everybody looks at. What is the coach? Do you then rotate the players and make sure that whichever player you bring in is the player that's going to perform against West Ham? It's a crazy tactic, but I've heard some people do it. What are your suggestions?
So honestly, I don't like teams who underperform. I don't like playing FPL with losing teams. I think I've mentioned this before. Teams who are losing in real life, I don't want their assets in my FPL team. And it's a catch 22
Definitely,
because
definitely.
FPL is about the player. It's not about the team. So on my take, I would just stay away from West Ham completely. But this is
Of course,
information for this information we're doing over here is for other managers. I don't want to tell managers what to do, and I don't want to tell them how they should play. I'm speaking about my personal
of course, of
experience.
course.
So people like Jared Bowen, I think because the team is not performing, stay away from him. Paqueta, I heard he's linked with a move to Tottenham Hotspur. So I'm not too sure. Whenever players go to Tottenham, they end up at Arsenal. Who knows? He might end up at Arsenal.
I fully agree with you. I wouldn't purchase any West Ham players, regardless of their performance, anything like that. But I would think of the technique or tactic rather to bring in a player that's going against West Ham. The only time that would not work is if West Ham is playing United. Then I suggest you make sure you have zero players on both sides. Those are my suggestions, and that's all I have to say on that. That's all I have to say on that. We're not talking about this again. We're moving forward. We're moving
Yeah,
forward.
moving along. Moving along. So Brentford won, Aston Villa no. I actually had
Yeah.
Watkins in my team, in my FPL team. I do feel that I picked Watkins because Aston Villa's first 9 fixtures are beautiful, but Aston Villa are not doing anything. So moving along with that one, unless you have anything to say there. Brentford, on the other hand, I just think good start for Keller.
Moving along, I feel like these are matches. Obviously, there's a good things to look at. By the way, Keller is one of the players I noticed. His ownership. His ownership is really solid, and he was one of the players I feel like coming from Liverpool. There was a point at last season whereby Allison was injured. He was there, and I think he performed absolutely brilliantly. Coming into the new season, he being taking now the number one keeper gloves. That's a great move for him, and I think he's a solid buy ultimately for the good first half of the season. Once again, like I always say, I feel like we all should always play 6 game weeks at a time. So monitor Keller is guaranteed to bring you a lot of points. Obviously, not to bring the same type of points that Raya and Pickford will bring you, but he is someone to consider for your team.
Also, you're buying into the whole Pickford team. While we're talking about Pickford, let's go there same time. Everton 2, Brighton 0. And to me, this was a beautiful game. Let me start off by eating my hat. I watched Everton versus Brighton. And the entire game, I just heard the commentators saying, Iliman Jai. Hey, this guy's a player. This guy's a lovely player. I apologize. I apologize for what I said to you. And I give him praise. No, Njai is quality. Njai is quality, but I still stand on my statement. He's not an FPL type of quality. He's African. Where's he from? So I would just love for you to also eat your hat when you said he almost saved the penalty. And then this week, he saved the penalty. That's what I'm saying about Pickford. I think Pickford was one of my top scorers in my FPL. Just give me a second, let me check. Pickford was my top scorer in my FPL team. He scored 15 points. He got 3 bonus points, obviously. He saved the penalty. He got clean sheet points. He played 90 minutes. He got save points. This happens to Pickford time and time and time again. So yeah, no, I feel that that's just why I actually went for someone like Pickford. And then yes, I know you touched on Grealish. So Grealish, his first start for Everton. I'm not sure his price in FPL. I think is 5.5, but 2 assists. So well up for him. Well up for people who signed him. I'm still not convinced, eh? Maybe I must just watch some more of him, and then yeah, maybe then I can factor him into my team. But let's move along to Man City 0, Tottenham 2. So with Man City, I think it was a shock for a lot of us. But my comment of last week, Tottenham has a manager called Thomas the Frank Engine. Guys, this manager's lovely. I love how he plays, and I see he's using Mohamed Kudus as his Brian Mbermo, Kudus is lively. He's a live wire. He's doing the same thing he did at West Ham. Yeah, so I think Kudus is a lovely buy from Spurs. You can slot him into your team. A lot of people actually went for him. I saw his price even increased now. And then even Richarlison. Richarlison is still on form. Richarlison, I see his price also went up. He's on 6.7. He started out as 6.5. I think that Dominic Solanke is going to struggle to get into the team now. So, yeah, I feel that when it comes to Spurs at the moment, Spurs are doing well. Unfortunately, or let me not say unfortunately, let me rather say lackluster from Man City. I expected more from City. Haaland obviously is in my team. He came out of there with 0 points, or let me rather say 2 points. He didn't produce anything. I had Tijani Reinders. Reinders also nothing over there. So yeah, what's your take? It's intertwined. It's intertwined. But no, let's not get into people's personal relationships. Yes. Okay, wait, before we get onto the big winners, just Burnley 2, Sunderland 0, a promotion derby. And I just actually watched Josh Cullen. He is the captain of Burnley and a lovely performance from him. He got the opening goal and he assisted the second goal as well. So FPL managers, if you're looking for a budget midfielder, look at him. He's an enabler so that you can get more priced players in there. But yeah, let's go on to the big game, the last game of Saturday. Take it away since it's your big team. Okay, so I'm speaking about the Gunners. I'm speaking about Arsenal. The Arsenal 5-0. What is that? You scared? You scared? You scared, motherfucker? You scared? So Arsenal versus Leeds. Obvious captain, like I said last week. Saka. Unfortunately, Saka only got to play, I think, 50 minutes, maybe 60. I'm not sure, but he went off injured, which is yeah, less than 60. So I know he got 6 points, which is 12 as a captain. It was very unfortunate for him though, because he was alive in the game. I loved Gyökeres as well. The first goal, I can't even remember, but the second goal was a penalty. The reason I know that is because I believe that Declan Rice would have taken it, but unfortunately not. But I must say, when it comes to Arsenal, I believe their biggest threat is their defense. I mean, Timber, he top scored with 24 points in FPL. It's the third highest point scorer in the entire history of the game. Lovely from him. I mean, every time Arsenal has a corner or a set piece, it seems like it's going to go in. I saw how they were struggling at Leeds. They were struggling with Timber, with Saliba, with Calafiori, and with Gabriel. So that is Arsenal's biggest threat. And I mean, goals can come from any one of those guys over there. Timber top scored with 2 goals, Gyökeres 2 goals, and then Saka with his 1 goal. But Timber didn't just leave it over there. Timber went on and he assisted as well. He assisted Saka's goal. So that was a lovely take from him. I really enjoyed watching a strong defense, a strong goalkeeper, corners coming into the box. They trying to attack the ball. The opposition are afraid of what is about to happen. So yeah, lovely display from Arsenal. And then I would go along and just say that it was a lovely Saturday, lovely ending to the Saturday. Arsenal 5, Leeds 0. You know, after the whole shock of City losing to Spurs. But then Sunday we kicked it off with Palace and Nottingham Forest 1-1. Ismail Sa with a goal, Callum Hudson-Odoi with a goal. Nothing much to speak about there except that they are there's rumors of sacking Nuno Espirito. Yeah. Espirito Nuno. Yeah, that guy. The Nottingham Forest coach. So you know how it goes. Where there is smoke, there is fire. I don't know why they want to sack him. I don't know why there are rumors about being sacked. But I felt like the banner that this the Crystal Palace fans were holding up in the crowd was very inappropriate, actually. And if if you
If you
saw it,
if you saw it,
I don't know, you would make whatever about it. And then okay, we covered Everton and Brighton, and then Fulham won,
Fulham
Man
won,
United
Man
won.
United.
To be honest, I know that United is going through a lot of things. I know that Amarim has played 29 games and only accumulated 28 points. They lost again last night to Grimsbury Town. The keeper of Grimsbury is a United fan, and in his post-match interview, he even said he's fuming at the United performance. He says their penalties were horrible. Yes, he didn't save any of the penalties, but he says it was horrible. If he put his mind to it, if he could have actually saved it. Not that it was match fixing or anything, but United, there's just too much negativity oozing out of that club at the moment. I mean, they have a few somebody's called the bomb squad. Sancho, Anthony, Malasia, Martinez, prohibited to train with the rest of the team. United, the negativity coming out of them are actually very poor. It's very worrying. As a football fan, I'm worried about the club. The club is a business. The club is as a workplace. I'm worried about it. As a Liverpool fan, yes, I love that United are doing bad. But I do believe that don't kick a horse when it's down. I don't believe Amarim should be sacked or even rumors about him being sacked because, to be honest, he was United were the better team against Arsenal. United could have been 3-0 up against Fulham in the first half. Cunha, I think two of his attempts he kicked straight to the keeper. The one just went past the post. So, I mean, how do you blame the coach for that? I don't blame the coach. You can't. I heard people saying that because he's playing five at the back, he's doing so bad. Ten Hag played four at the back. He did bad. So, what is it? Are you guys saying it's the Premier League? Is it United? Is it the coach? Is it the players? To me, I feel like it's the players and it's the club, but the DNA of the club, whatever is happening in the background, the owners, and not the management. But then, of course, guys, football at its best. Let me even do this. Let me do this. The game that ended the Premier League on Monday. Newcastle United versus Liverpool Football Club. Guys, the Isak Derby, aka the Isak Derby, the entertaining spirit of football showed itself once again. And who was involved? Liverpool FC, as always. St. James's Park. St. James's Park is the 12th man every time for Newcastle. For those people who doesn't know what happens at St. James's Park, the away fans are allocated 5,000 seats in the furthest corner from the pitch. They are at the highest tier. I think it's tier 3. They're up in the air. I'm sure the away fans, the away team can't even hear their fans. That's how far they are. So, yes, the environment was very hostile. It was very hostile. Me as a Liverpool fan, I know what Anfield sounds like, and St. James's Park was sounding like Anfield, but I was on the receiving end this time. So obviously the 12th man was on there. They wanted to prove a point to Liverpool to say that you can't just come take our player. Some people feel like we're stealing their player. Anthony the Scouser Gordon with an early red card. Unfortunately, I think the passion was just too much for him. His emotions got involved. Serious tackle against Virgil van Dijk. He got sent off. He's out until the 28th of September. Bruno Gamaresh, however you say his surname. I feel that man, he pulled that team when they were 10 men. As the captain, he showed his passion for that club. He took that team and he made sure that they will play with their heart and their souls against Liverpool. And lovely, lovely, lovely. I loved what he did actually. I really loved what he did. Let me give him a round of applause just for that. Yeah, so he really took that team by the bootstraps. He got the first goal. I mean, just Liverpool 2, Newcastle 0. Liverpool scored the first goal, first half. Second goal, just after second half. I think like 50 seconds into second half. And this guy, he didn't give up the determination. He went and Newcastle equalized. Him, the captain, equalized first goal. Dan Burn, we were struggling with Dan Burn as Liverpool. Dan Burn was giving us hell. We couldn't contain him. Joelinton, Gravenberg was man marking Joelinton. Joelinton was being bullied. Van Dijk was being bullied by not Joelinton. Gravenberg was being bullied by Joelinton. Dan Burn was pulling Van Dijk. Ekatike was trying. We brought out the heavy guns for Newcastle, but their defense was just quality. Unfortunately for them, they got 3 players injured in the game, plus Gordon's red card. Tonali injured, Joelinton injured, Fabian Shah injured. And cometh the moment, cometh the man. Osula, he came on and he equalized for them. A game where we are fighting over a striker. In a club where they need strikers, they bring on someone who's at the club, a 22-year-old. They bring him on, and I don't know. Liverpool's defense, once again, communication was the error. The line wasn't kept, and he goes on, and the ball bounces off Kunate's back, and Osula slots it past Ellison. And yeah, no, 2-2, 88th minute. Liverpool, how could you do that? 2-0 up, down to 2-2. Yeah, anticlimax. But the return, the return. Guys, there's no entertaining team as Liverpool Football Club. In the 24th minute, we sub on Rio. Rio, what is Rio's surname? Ngamoa. Rio Ngamoa. See ya. I even shout out to Rio. He inspired my hairstyle. Yeah, Rio did this for me. So Rio Ngamoa, he comes on in the 94th minute. And I think within 6 minutes or within 5 minutes, he equalizes. A lovely equalizer. So before I get carried away with Rio, or let me not get carried away with Rio, I've watched this boy during preseason and he put on stellar performances. Darwin Nunes was my top scorer. He was second. And the build-up in the goal that he scored, every single player, Liverpool player, touched the ball. From Ellison right until the finishing moment, except Soberslay. But guess who was key to that goal? In where I'm from, we call it a skip. Where other people or football terms, it's called a dummy. But it was a skip. Soberslay, Salah gets the ball. Salah crosses the ball. He kicks it across the field. Soberslay is there on hand. What does Soberslay do? He pretends like he's going to take the ball. He skips the ball. Guys, you know how important a skip is in football. He skips the ball. Ngamoa coming there and first time effort. It rolls against the net. Lovely. I loved what Ngamoa did. Yeah, I think that I don't get carried away when it comes to young players. I really don't get carried away because I just feel like young players they need to prove themselves. I don't like it when we overcompensate and we talk about the future and we speak about whatever we do speak about. When it comes to young players, I just feel that if you are not Yamal, if you are not Pedri, Gavi, Ganacho, you need to prove yourself. So, well up for Rio Ngamoa. But, guys, I'm stressed about Liverpool. Their defense, they were very slow. I mean, they played against 10 men, and it seemed like we were the 10 men. Vert struggled once again. Another game where Vert struggled. I'm actually giving him one last chance in my team. And if he doesn't take this chance in my FPL team, I'm selling him. But I do believe after that game, Isak is chosen. Isak knows where he's going to. He knows where his heart is. I hope that Newcastle also just does the right thing, man. I mean, what Newcastle are doing to Isak is, I don't know if it's unfair, if it's business, if it's, but I don't like what's happening with that issue. Anyway, moving along, let me get into my FPL team. I scored, guys, I scored 72 points this week. I scored the most points in the group, in the official Omega FPL group. Like I said, Jordan Pickford, player my player. He top scored with 15 after Pickford. Think, yeah, Rice got 12. Declan Rice, who was my captain indeed. In fact, he was my captain, and it was a risky decision actually. I thought Rice would be on penalties, but yeah, I thought wrong. Gakpo, yet again, another return, 10 points. Ekatike, a goal again, 10 points. Ishmael Daniel Munoz for Crystal Palace. So my only players who didn't return was Man United's Dogu, my City assets, as well as Watkins. So yeah, I'm actually very happy with what happened this week. And after what happened, this was first on the log. Your boy. Your boy. Well up, boy. Yeah, boy. Yeah, I'm first on the log. Within 42 points. The guy second to me, Ezron, the leader of last week, he has 129 points. So that just shows you, like, it's more than, or almost 20 points behind me. The gap starts by 20 points. Sooner or later, it will be 200 points. So yeah, Cherry Champu, the newcomer to our league, he is last on the log, or 17th rather, with 60 points. Yes, he burned, I think, 44 points. Yeah, Chad burned 44 points, but he's on 60. And the person above him has 77. So that's a gap of 17. I think that it worked out for him, actually. As for Jandre, is on 93 points. He only scored, using his wild card, in fact, he scored a mere 42 points. The average was 51, but he scored 42, so below average. Are you ready? Do you want to come back in there? Okay. I see we have a problem on John's side still. So let me just read out some other comments over here for other teams in our league. Actually, you know what? I don't even need to read any teams out in our league. But thank you guys for joining the league. Much appreciated. And for those people who still wants to join, for those people who are still interested in joining our league, let me just read out the code for you quickly. Just give me a second. Our code to join the FPL league is actually NY, New York, BCD, Omega FPL, official league. NY, BCD. Chad, Mr. Champu, I see you are with us there. How are you doing, brother?
My nigga, I'm struggling with this connection.
You're struggling now. Don't stress yourself. Don't stress yourself. We
I'm having
are
the worst time.
nearing to
Like
the end of the show. Is there anything?
it's even worse when my video.
Okay, I can hear what you are speaking about. Okay, no, then you can cancel your video. You don't need to have your video on.
Well, my audio's on there, but the audio.
Okay, no, then it might just be a connection problem. But no stress, no stress. So let's get into some. I actually think that with my team, I'm going for a Liverpool asset. I was thinking to go with Hugo Ekitike since we are playing Arsenal at home, but I'll go with Cody Gakpo. But I don't think he's the best captain this week. For me, the best captain this week is a Man United player. Cunha, to be specific. I would go with Cunha, and yeah, Cunha is the captain, and the rest is history. I feel that there's many difficult games this week. I mean, Liverpool versus Arsenal, that could end up in a draw. Okay, Chelsea versus Fulham. So you can look at Chelsea assets as well over there. I would. João Pedro is not a bad thing. He scored 15 points. Obviously, won't score 15 points every other game. Spurs versus Bournemouth, depending on who you trust at Spurs, whether it's Richarlison, whether it's Mohamed Kudus. And then, yeah, to me, I feel that's the only captain candidates that I would choose. But like I say, week in, week out, don't panic. Deadline is only on Saturday. Let me give you the specific time on Saturday. Deadline is Saturday, 30th August at 12 p.m. So there's lots of time still to, do your team. Don't panic. Don't make any transfers. In fact, I'm a hypocrite by saying that because I knee jerked. I already made my transfers right after Julian Timber scored 2 goals. I brought Timber in and I took Ian Matson out of my team. And also I sold Ollie Watkins for João Pedro, which I feel was a mistake. The Watkins one was a mistake. The reason I chose Watkins initially is because of his 9 opening fixtures. But I sold him. I got João Pedro in. I hope it works out for me. I'm going with Cody Gakpo as my captain. In fact, I'm going with Cody Gakpo or maybe Haaland as my captain. And then Ekatika is my vice captain. But yeah, guys, I think that's it from my side. Thank you once again for people who's joining the league. Thank you for people who's watching the show. Thank you for people who's supporting. I got a lot of support this week. People telling me they've watched the show, they encouraging me. They actually feel that I'm doing a good thing. So thank you for all of that. I know we're not in a global league, but we need to start out somewhere. And yeah, I guess this is it for me. This is where I'm starting out. So yeah, thank you once more. You can follow us at Omega_FPL. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us, not Twitter, sorry, TikTok. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, as well as YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. Just struggling to get it verified. But yes, this episode was recorded on Thursday, 28th of August. So yeah, see you over the weekend. And don't forget, go with your gut. Toodles.